All right, I got a question for each and every one of you. You need to ponder this because it's quite a conundrum. If you were to have all of your bosses, everybody that's, well, let's say over you or in charge of you, did the exact same thing that you do now, do you think that they're going to stop doing it? Do you think that they're going to stop you from doing it? And again, remember, these are your bosses. This is the same issue that I want to take a look at when it comes to a chief of police. When it comes to the police, I'm going to start covering police again, guys. Not quite the same way as I used to. I'm going to be a lot more fair about it. And again, I'm not going to say I wasn't fair before, but I'm going through articles and I'm like, wait a minute, a lot of this is just now the pendulum swinging totally the other way. I'm not going to become donut operator. Trust me, don't worry. I'm going to be fair and I'm going to be critical, but I want to start talking about this. And there's a couple of things that came out, and one of them is this. You do know that if you talk to the police and you lie to the police, if they're in an investigation, they can put you in jail. But the point of the matter is they can lie to you all they want legally. They can legally lie to you. Oh, wait, up to a point, and maybe not. Let's check this out. This is some good information coming out. Now, this story actually covers two stories, and you will not believe what a state did. Yes, they actually did it to help curb exactly this, because I don't agree with it. I do not agree that police can lie to you. They could tell you that they're going to throw you in jail when they actually can't throw you in jail. If you ask them a direct question, they can misdirect or lie to you, such as, what you're investigating me for, is this a jailable offense? They could lie and say, yes, it is, even though it's not. This is important because if they're actually interrogating you, you have the right as a citizen to know where you stand, what the law is, and what they can and what they cannot do as an American citizen. And this is just something that I believe strongly in, and this may actually make a little bit of a difference. This is according to this article here, and this is a chief who made this statement. I could make up a fake arrest and put you in jail. Police chief agrees to plead guilty to threatening arrest over a negative Facebook post. Now tell me, and again, how in the world, and you tell me, can this chief effectively police his own people, effectively police his own troops, if this is something that he believes in? A lot of this is just habit. He's gone through his whole career lying to people, telling people whatever he needs to tell them to get what he wants. He's gone his whole career doing that, and he's not going to stop, because that is how he's used to getting, shall we say, the narrative or the agenda that he's wanting to have either done or presented. The U.S. Department of Justice on Thursday, and guys, you won't believe this other story, I'm telling you. Thursday charged a Pennsylvania police chief for allegedly violating a man's civil rights. The charge, how can you say allegedly when he pled guilty? He did it, okay? He pled guilty. The charges came after the chief threatened to arrest the man for posting critical comments against the chief and his department on Facebook. Now, this brings up another question. If this is just a police chief willing to censor his constituency, imagine what Facebook, imagine what Twitter, imagine what our full federal government can do with the full power behind them. It continues. Allegedly voting a man's civil rights, Facebook posting critical comments against the chief and his department on Facebook. According to court records, the chief has agreed to plead guilty and has also agreed to resign from the force. I'm going to tell you this. I'm sure this is not the first time he got caught. According to criminal information filed in the U.S. District Court for the Middle District of Pennsylvania, the chief, his name is Brian Bugalo. How would you pronounce that? Yeah, Bugalo? Bugalo. We'll call him Bugalo because he's kind of a bug. Anyways, 45 of Latimer Mines, PA. You guys know I can't pronounce names. Was employed by the West Hazelton Police Department. West Hazleton is about an hour south of Scranton. The document says a person. Now, here's how they're saying this happened. Okay, on or about March 4th, 2020, individual number 1 met with Brian Bugalo at the West Hazleton Police Department. Now, here's the thing that got him in trouble. He told him to meet him. He told him to meet up with him, and we're going to get to the closing deal. Brian at department. In accordance with Brian Bugalo's directions, during that meeting, Brian Bugalo, acting under color of law, threatened to pursue felony criminal charges against individual 1 in retaliation for individual 1's social media post on Facebook, and to stifle individual number 1's exercise of free speech. During the meeting, Brian acknowledged that the threatened felony lacked merit. In other words, I'm going to just make it up. And by the way, they do it. And here's the thing. Not only do they make it up, they'll actually put you in jail for it. Yes, they can. Because you still got to get in front of the judge. Anyways, Scranton ABC affiliate WNEP identified individual 1 as Paul Delonzo of East Stroudsburg, PA. Stroudsburg, we'll go with that. He told the TV station he criticized the chief and department for being slow to make an arrest in a case which involved him. The TV station report says, and by the way, that is not that negative. If this chief is going to do this over that, that's not that bad. I wonder what else he's done. The TV station's report says Delonzo. What is it? Delonzo. It could be Delonzo. Also, accused the chief of committing a violent crime. Cops are accused of that all the time. He called me, left me a voicemail, and said that he was going to arrest me for a crime that was being investigated for something I've never even done or had any part of. Now, I'm going to break this down into quick details. They meet up. He basically says, I'm going to charge you with a felony, and I'm going to see about getting you prosecuted if you don't take down the post. Well, of course, the guy says, okay, I'll take down the post. Here's where the chief really messed up. They shook hands on the deal. In other words, I won't charge you with a felony that you have nothing to do with if you take down the post. They shake hands. They come to agreement. He takes down the post. He then, of course, calls federal authorities. So, he was given 10 days to vacate. He's vacated. He's pled guilty. Hopefully it's a good lesson to other cops, which it won't be. They'll continue doing it. But I want you guys to check out something interesting. It's a movement in the right direction, and it's important because we need movements in the right direction. Now, I'm going to tell you, I find this quite fascinating, and you know why? Children are taught that police are the authority, that you can trust the police, that you can believe the police. They're taught that all through school. As a matter of fact, they make sure that the children are taught this by having school resource officers, in other words, police directly in the schools. 90% of what they do within the school is propaganda for the police. In other words, promote the government, promote trusting the police. So when police have the ability to lie, and again, I know there's criminals in it doesn't matter. The point of the matter is government is supposed to be better than this. When they have the ability to lie to children, it really has a much stronger effect on them. And let's even take fear and move fear out of the way. They're afraid that they're going to get in trouble and they may end up going to jail. But here, Illinois became the first state to pass a bill on Sunday that bans law enforcement or any other public official, I like this, or employee from engaging in deception when interacting with a minor. Passed both the state and the House and Senate with near unanimous support after it was introduced by State Senator Robert Peters and State Representative Justin Slaughter. I would change my last name, Justin Slaughter. Do I really want to Slaughter? Especially if I'm going into politics. Anyway, I digress. The bill was also co-sponsored by House Minority Leader Jim Durkin, a Republican and former Chicago prosecutor. I'll never be accused of being soft on crime, but I'm more interested in seeking the truth than a conviction. That's exactly the point I'm talking about. This is what police should be seeking, the truth. What is actually going on? I believe in fair play. We should never tolerate, under any circumstance, the use of deception to seek a statement or an admission by a defendant, let alone a juvenile. All right, then why aren't you now moving towards making that law available for adults? Why not? Hopefully, they'll be taking that next step. In recent years, Illinois has uncovered at least 100 wrongful convictions predicated on false confession, 31 of them involving people 18 years of age or under. According to Lara, narrator, co-author, co-director of Center on Wrongful Convictions at Northwestern University, Pritzker School of Law, minors have been found to be 2 to 3 times more likely to confess to crimes they didn't commit. They're especially vulnerable to pressure tactics, like police saying DNA places them at the scene of the crime, claiming eyewitnesses identified them as being the perpetrator, and lying about the consequences of a confession. Most Americans are unaware that it is currently legal in all 50 states, and this is what I try to tell people, guys, all 50 states, for law enforcement to lie during interrogation to minors as well as adults. Oregon and New York are both considering similar legislation, with New York considering even stricter measures by banning deception of minors as well as adults. It's good. I like it. The nationally known case of the Central Park Five, now known as the Exonerated Five, involved 5 black and Latino teenagers from Harlan who were coerced by law enforcement into confessing to a rape that they did not commit in 1989. The 5 minors spent years in prison before being exonerated in 2002. I like the bill, guys. It's a movement in the right direction. I really think we need to do this towards adults. Now, question, and here's an answer. Will some criminals that they know is actually a criminal be able to get away with it? Be able to get away that they can't arrest now? Well, that's a yes and a no. What this means is that they need to now go out and do their job. And they need to find the evidence. They need to find the witnesses and not take a shortcut by lying and violating the public's constitutional rights. There should be a constitutional right that a public official answer honestly any question that a citizen asks them. And they shouldn't be able to lie to those citizens. That's the question. I don't think more are actually going to get away with it. I just think the police are going to have to work a whole lot harder. And let's be honest, nobody likes to work harder. They're going to fight it. Wait till the police unions get a hold of this. Till my next video, guys.